Again, I think, a lot of this requires working on the psychological and mental side of things, which is much more difficult, much more challenging. But that is where you're going to find real growth and progress as a trader. Like at this point in time, I'm not looking to modify my technical approach pretty much at all. I get messages, emails, hey, what do you think about order flow? What do you think about anchored VWAPs? What do you think about, stochastics and all this different stuff that I don't use? Because I feel like from a technical perspective, I have something that works extremely well. So I'm not working on anything technical. I haven't worked on technical stuff for years now. And that's not to say that, I'm not open to learning something new. I'm always looking for stuff. I just haven't found anything that really adds to the system or methodology at this stage in the game. But the mental side and the psychological side, I think that requires constant attention and effort and work. That I think is something that um, I don't really know if it can be mastered. I don't think it's a task to be completed. I don't think that there's a finish line when it comes to dealing with the mental and psychological side of this business. It's a constant challenge. And as we move forward, I think I'm going to try to incorporate that more into the recaps because without dealing with the mental and psychological side, you can have the best system in the world and you will not be able to act on it. So it's one thing to have the trade plan, the zones, the ideas laid out, clean trade setups in Vulcan Trader, all that. But to actually pull the trigger, to see the trade through, to not mess it up in between, to deal with the missed opportunities, to deal with the losses that are inherently part of any methodology, that requires constant work and effort. So I think as we move forward, I'll try to touch upon those things as well, perhaps a bit more, because I think we've covered the technicals a lot. And, there's, I don't know, 3,000 videos, 4,000, I mean, I don't even know how many thousands of videos on the website that delve into the technicals and the patterns and the trade setups and all of this, right? It's been covered from every angle possible. You can use the tags on the website to find videos on particular day types, trend days, non-trend days, balance days, normal variation days, long liquidation, P-shaped profile, B-shaped profile, like all that stuff, short covering, everything is on the website. You could spend months and you wouldn't be able to get through all the videos. Literally thousands upon thousands of videos, hundreds and hundreds of hours of content. But how do you put it into practice? I think we need to go into that a bit more, and I want all of us to improve our mental game and our execution, which are very closely linked. So you don't become a great trader by just mastering the trading psychology or, being very good at that side of the business. You need the technicals. Because without it, you have no framework. You don't even know what to do. So how can you do it? If you don't know what to do, who cares if you have the psychology and the mental fortitude and the mental toughness and everything to see it through? If you don't even know what to do. So we have spent years talking about the technicals, how to do it, what to look for, what not to look for. The methodology is very systematic. The ideas are solid. The principles are concrete. They're powerful. They work. But are you generating the income you want off of the ideas? Are you capitalizing on the ideas? We've been talking about larger time frame buyers stepping in at 74.5 to 84.5. Did you all capitalize on it? Did you all get long? Probably not. So we need to spend more time and energy into cracking that side of it, cracking the code on how we can help drive behavior change and how we can actually execute in the best way possible. It doesn't mean catching every move, it also means missing moves and dealing with that. It means taking the trade that met the requirements, taking the loss, and dealing with that. Being okay with it, welcoming it, understanding that it is part of the system, it is part of the methodology, and then making mistakes, messing up, and getting over it, and coming back the next day with a clear slate, and doing it again and again and again, and then taking the hits and taking the loss, getting punched, bouncing back. That's what's going to be needed. So for anyone who wants to make it, and not just make it as in making $50,000 a year, $100,000 a year, I mean like make it as in at least 7 figures a year. It's going to take a lot to get that, right? If that is what you are trying to do, which is 7 figures a year, then you're in the right place. We're not trying to make 50 grand, 100 grand, It doesn't have to happen overnight. Like there's not a timeline to this. It's not like, oh, we need to hit this goal by X date. This is a lifelong sport, basically, the way I see it. The timeline is until whenever. Because this isn't something that has to be done today or tomorrow. But it requires enough of a sense of urgency that you are taking action to improve even a little bit every single day. And then those small improvements add up over time. So we're not trying to make drastic changes because I don't think that's realistic. But can we make small improvements every day? Can we touch on the trading psychology that's necessary to take certain trades every day? Can we remind ourselves of what it takes to hold on to a position, what it takes to get into the position, what it takes to deal with the uncertainty, that discomfort of not knowing and pulling the trigger anyway? Yeah, I think we can do that. And I think that bringing that to the surface and talking about it more, it's definitely not going to be a negative. It will only improve your execution. There's no downside to it. But the long-term goal in this business should be 7 and 8 figures. It should not be 6. It should not be 100,000, 200,000, half a million. No, the goal has to be 7 figures and beyond. And that requires trading size. And you're not going to get there by taking 10 trades a day on 5 contracts or 10 contracts. The way to get there is to trade bigger. And by trading bigger, it doesn't mean trade a unreasonable risk an unreasonable percentage of your account on every trade. It just means growing the account to a point where 1% risk equals, $15,000, $20,000. That requires $1 million plus in your account. That takes time to build up. No one gets there overnight. But it is all possible. I've seen my own students do it, and I think I'm just going to make a greater effort to help everyone do it. Everyone who's on the site. Everyone who's willing to sit and listen to me for an hour. I mean, we're coming up on 56 minutes here. So that's what we're going to be doing over the next several months, maybe years. But if that's what you want, then you're in the right spot. All right, guys, we will wrap it up with that. Thank you for attending, as always, and we will reconnect bright and early tomorrow morning. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day.